Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Governor Jim Florio recently signed into law a bill designating Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital and St. Peter's Medical Center as the Specialty Acute Care Children's Hospital for Central New Jersey. We'll have that story this week and more, including scenes from Betsy Brown, the current production at Crossroads Theater Company in New Brunswick. Advice about giving pets as gifts on your pet doctor, and a review of this week's town council meeting, including resolutions to the high school girls' soccer and tennis teams. But first, here's a look at programming next week on Channel 8. Lenore Kulik's getting ready for those extra holiday calories with aerobics and more, Monday morning at 10. That's on Look Great, Feel Great. On Stories from the Library at 10:30, preschoolers enjoy stories about homecoming. Tuesday night, watch EB18 for interviews with the Township Assessor, the Town Prosecutor, and the President of the East Brunswick Chamber of Commerce. That's at 7 o'clock. At 7:30, it's a Channel 8 special edition on the East Brunswick Human Relations Council. See what this group is doing to end biased crime and to promote understanding and acceptance of differences between people here in town. At 8 o'clock Tuesday night, Frank Knoppenberger joins host John Magliaro on the Sports Talk set for a review of fall sports at the high school. Wednesday evening's lineup includes For Art's Sake at 7:30 with Dolly Vasta's award-winning show about the New Jersey Aquarium. And the Arts at 8 o'clock with information about an innovative playwriting program for lower-income 4th and 5th grade students in Perth Amboy. Our weekly news program, This Week in East Brunswick, will be on hiatus until January 7th. The library closes at 1 o'clock on Christmas Eve and will remain closed on Christmas Day. Regular programming on Channel 8 will resume Monday morning, December 28th. Check the Community Bulletin Board for additional scheduling information and for information about upcoming local events. Governor Jim Florio last week signed into law a bill designating Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital and St. Peter's Medical Center as the Specialty Acute Care Children's Hospital for Central New Jersey. The bill was signed in special ceremonies at Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital.
We're here to sign some legislation that I think is extremely important. I want to commend the legislators who are here, as well as Senator Lynch, for being the catalysts for getting this bill through. Something that's important, and of course what it will do is to designate Robert Wood Johnson and St. Peter's Medical Center as the Specialty Acute Care Children's Hospital for the central portion of New Jersey. These two medical facilities have a fine tradition of joint regional planning for health care. And now what they'll be doing is pooling their resources to make them uniquely qualified to serve children who need the most sophisticated and the most intense care that is required of children in need. Now these two hospitals can move forward onto the designation process with the acute care hospitals in the entire region. And when the process, of course, is complete, any child in Central Jersey with an acute or a life-threatening illness will be able to be transferred swiftly to their specialized care. This bill will also make our acute care center eligible for research funds and for development funds, and will allow them to apply to our Department of Health for additional beds or for certificate of needs for added or expanded specialized services.
The designation had previously been approved by the State Senate on August 3, 1992. The Senate bill was introduced by Senators Jack Sinagra and John Lynch.
Knowing that you can get the best care and not have to leave the state or travel great distances was something I thought was very important. So I was involved from day one. I decided to ask Senator Lynch to be the co-prime sponsor to make sure that it wasn't a partisan issue at all, because children's health should never be something partisan. And today is going to be one of those days that I remember, because I know that families between Robert Wood Johnson and St. Peter's designation as Children's Hospital will be better served right here locally in New Jersey.
The two hospitals already provide most of the sophisticated care and programs of a children's hospital. The Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, St. Peter's Medical Center Children's Hospital will be established within the two hospitals' current facilities by adding specialty care pediatric beds. Harvey Holtzberg, president and CEO of Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, said this designation will enable us to enhance our services and reach more children. In addition, the burden placed on parents when they must travel long distances will be alleviated. Healthcare dollars will remain in the state, and the programs will be implemented within the walls of the two institutions at a cost substantially less than building a freestanding facility. Also on hand for the signing were children from the Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital Daycare Center, the Tot Spot, and St. Peter's Medical Center's Daycare Center, Bless You, who serenaded the governor and guests with songs of the holiday season.
Like a diamond in the sky, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Hi, welcome back once again to Your Pet Doctor. I'm Dolly Vasta, and my co-host is...
I'm Dr. Brian Johnson from the Cranberry Veterinary Hospital in East Brunswick.
And it's the holiday season, and it's the season when grandparents and parents all say, let's get a new puppy or a kitten or what have you for Johnny or Susie. Is this a good thing to do?
Yes and no.
I love your answers. Of course, we've been arguing about this, folks, just before we went on, but go on.
Yes, I think it's a wonderful idea, but it should not be a surprise to the people in the family who are going to be responsible for caring for the pet. The greatest offenders are grandparents who give their grandchildren pets, and it becomes a total surprise to the people, to the parents who are going to be taking care of the animal.
I can't wait till you're a grandparent.
This is something which is very important, and a thoughtful gift. As we mentioned before, don't give a St. Bernard puppy to someone who lives in an apartment. It usually will cause a problem. If you're going to give a gift, again, a thoughtful gift. Don't give a cat to someone who has an allergy to a cat. And make sure the animal is wanted. If it's not wanted, it won't be loved, and you completely destroy the reason for giving the pet.
Well, there's a lot of places, too, that you can get animals and you can get pets.
Oh, there's a number of
holidays.
places, sure.
I mean, I know that you have a mixture of generic and pedigree animals in your own menagerie at home.
All Americans? Sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And I have what I call a generic dog, who I wouldn't trade for all the world. But so there's a lot of places, and I don't know, maybe we have a minute or so we can talk about them.
Oh, well, there's many of the pounds, there's many places. Look in the paper, people are trying to find homes. There are many places to find, but make sure it's wanted. Talk to the people who are going to be getting the dog or cat or bird. Make sure it's a gift that will be welcomed. Remember, set formula. Mother does 90% of the work, father does 9% of the work, and the child, if you're lucky, will do 1% of the work. So understand, Ma, you're going to get stuck with most of the work. It's true.
Also, well, that's true, but aren't we always stuck with most of the work anyway? But one of the other things I think, too, if you're going to give a pet, there's a lot of things that go along with a puppy. You know, leash, all the little accompanying things, so that
it would be extremely thoughtful to plan the gift. If you're going to give someone a kitten, remember, it needs a litter box.
That's right.
It needs food. Many gifts are given, then they say, well, what are we going to feed this little thing? Well, I don't know. What did you bring? Well, then you've got a problem. Or where is it going to go to the bathroom? So whatever gift you give, make it a full gift, including its food, a leash, a collar, a bed preferably, a litter pan if it's applicable, or whatever else is going to be necessary to make it a loving gift that everybody can enjoy without frenzy of what has to be done in an emergency basis.
You know, I just thought of a great holiday gift, seriously, that someone can give someone who already has a pet, is obedience classes.
Wonderful. That's probably one of the nicest gifts, because most dogs need obedience. And more
So
than
do most owners.
that's it.
of their
It's more than the dog, it's the owner. In the training of any dog, it's 60% training of the owner and 40% training of the dog. That's a wonderful gift. I'm going to recommend that more often.
See? I do come up with these bright ideas from time to time.
Yes, it's a first. That's an excellent idea.
Okay.
I like that.
Anyway, we hope you all have a great holiday, and if you are going to pick out a pet, why, have a safe one, okay? Take care.
In its simplest terms, Betsy Brown, now at Crossroads Theater Company in New Brunswick, is the story of one black girl's coming of age in 1959. The musical, co-written by Ntozake Shange and Emily Mann, will run through January 3rd. For tickets, call Crossroads at 249-5561.
At Monday night's Township Council meeting, several presentations were made, including a resolution given in honor of the East Brunswick High School girls soccer team for their accomplishments as New Jersey state champions.
Whereas the East Brunswick High School girls soccer team is ranked #1 in the state and #1 in the nation by the National Soccer Coaches of America Gatorade poll. Whereas the East Brunswick High School girls soccer team won the Central Jersey Group 4 Sectional Championship, NJSIAA Group 4 Sectional Champions, Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division Champions, and the Greater Middlesex Conference Tournament Championship, again bringing honor upon each of its members, East Brunswick High School, and the community at large. And whereas the East Brunswick High School girls soccer team ended the season with an impressive 23-0 record. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the East Brunswick Township Council and by Mayor Ira Oskowski on behalf of a proud community that it hereby honors the East Brunswick High School girls soccer team consisting of Amy Bizzop, Karen Bizzop, Chris Black, Courtney Bloor, Jody Brothers, Laura Buttenbaum, Chris Carmaza, Deborah DiNicolo, Catherine Geiderich, Jessica Shue, Allison Lowenstein, Christine McLaughlin, Betsy Ostroff, Kelly Petcher, Tamika Perez, Jeannie Rabai, Lisa Rabai, Carla Schwartz, Casey Black, Jamie Leiser, and head coach Lou Cosa and Brian Merrigan, and assistant coach Sonia Regalado. And the mayor and township council congratulate each of the foregoing for their individual and team contributions to an outstanding and memorable year for girls soccer at East Brunswick High School.
Also honored by Councilman Anthony Riccobono was the high school girls tennis team.
Whereas the East Brunswick High School girls tennis team won the Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division Championship and the Greater Middlesex Conference Tournament Championship, again bringing honor upon each of the members, East Brunswick High School, and the community at large. And whereas East Brunswick High School girls tennis team ended the season with an impressive 17-2 record, undefeated division and conference play, and now therefore be resolved by the East Brunswick Township Council and by Mayor Ira Skowski on behalf of a proud community that it hereby honors the East Brunswick High School girls tennis team, consisting of Debbie Fass, Stacy Harris, Sarah Johnson, Maya Kolopakam, Karen Levi, Janice Starf, and Rema Suhu, and the head coach Karen Frezzi. And the mayor and the council hereby congratulate each of the foregoing for their individual and team contributions to an outstanding and memorable year for girls tennis at East Brunswick High School.
In another presentation, the Raritan Valley Roadrunners gave a check to Mayor Ira Skowski for use in the Camp Daisy program.
On behalf of the East Brunswick Division of Parks, Recreation, and Community Services and the Raritan Valley Roadrunners, we'd like to present to you this check for Camp Daisy, which represents part of the proceeds from this year's East Brunswick 10K road races and charity walk.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We also have a plaque here we'd like to give to Blanche Gregg in the 65 to 69 year age group. She's the course record holder for 2 consecutive years, and she's the only East Brunswick resident to be a course record holder.
Also recognized at Monday night's meeting was Doris Stone.
Whereas the East Brunswick Department of Recreation, Parks, and Community Services sponsored the first Mayor's Scholarship Walk on October 18, 1992. And whereas the Mayor's Scholarship Walk was implemented to allow financially disadvantaged East Brunswick residents to participate in the Division of Recreation programs. And whereas extensive programs, recruitment of volunteers, sponsors, and participants were needed. And whereas collection of funds from pledges required a coordination of such. And whereas Doris Snowden Stone is a resident of East Brunswick and volunteered her services as coordinator of the first Mayor's Scholarship Walk. Now therefore be proclaimed that I, Ira Skowski, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, extend my appreciation and thanks to Doris Snowden Stone for her efforts in giving of her time to better the quality of life of the residents of East Brunswick. Thank you.
In other council news, Township Cable Liaison Adrian Eisner informed the council of all cable television complaints and related matters in her year-end report.
In a meeting with Sam Magliaro, General Manager of Stora Cable, in July, the Cable Advisory Committee and I argued vehemently that Stora should hold the line on any rate increases in 1993, and that Family Channel, AMC, and other channels such as comedy and sci-fi should be added to the basic service. We told Mr. Magliaro at that time that adding Family Channel and AMC did not justify a rate increase, since subscribers have been paying hefty rate increases annually and have received no additional full-time basic channels since early 1990 when TNT was added. Certainly another pay-per-view, which they are adding, would generate more revenue for Stora. In light of that, another 9% increase for the 3rd year in a row, when the inflation rate is still around 3%, is unconscionable. I stood before you last year at this time when we gave our report, and I stated at that time, the public has been carrying the burden of deregulation, corporate buyouts, and a de facto monopoly situation for 8 years since deregulation in 1984. Without benefit of specific financial justification, I must ask again, is Stora increasing profitability at the expense of the public?
Stan Fisher, chairman of the Cable Television Advisory Committee, followed with the committee's annual report.
Since our inception, we have concentrated our efforts in 3 areas: rates, additional channels, and service complaints. On July 16, the committee met for the first time with Sam Magliaro, Stora Central New Jersey's general manager. On September 21st, Mr. Magliaro again met with us at what in effect was a public hearing on cable television. At both meetings, the committee and the public emphasized and re-emphasized its outrage over the mammoth increases we have been subjected to since rates were deregulated in 1984. In spite of this outcry, in spite of the CPI rising only about 4%, and in spite of the recession, STORA has once again announced a significant rate increase of between 6 and 9%. Along with the announcement about rate increases, STORA informed us of their plans to add the Family Channel, International Channel, which is foreign language programming, and a third pay-per-view channel, effective January 1. We must point out to the Council that thus far, with regard to the aforementioned consumer preference and strong basic package, STORA has certainly not followed the spirit of the franchise agreement. Service complaints. Just as we have complained to STORA about rates and additional channels, the committee has complimented them on their overall good service record.
Finally, Sam Magliaro, General Manager of STORA Cable Communications, made his annual presentation to the Council, followed by responses from Council members and the public.
Finally, when STORA was refranchised in East Brunswick in 1988, phone response was about 70%, and hold times were very long. Now phone response is up to 96%, and the hold time is under 30 seconds 95% of the time. There were complaints of long delays for service and installation, and now subscribers can be seen promptly and many times the same day. We heard you wanted better service and we responded, and we will continue to seek new ways to better provide our service to our customers. We will continue to increase the programming we offer and improve the quality and reliability of the signal we provide, as well as address our other subscribers' needs. 1992 was a good year in terms of the service we delivered and being able to add some channels. We look forward to serving East Brunswick in 1993 and beyond.
You weren't there at the time when your predecessor and a group of people from the township, including myself, drew up that franchise agreement so that cable television from STORA would be in effect for the next 10 years from the date of that particular agreement. The impression we got was that STORA would be completely open and completely cooperative with the township. You've given us a pretty good rundown on all the things you've done for us. But when it comes to channel selection, it occurs to me that the public had very little, if any, input as to which channels were added and in what order and how soon. Now, it's been several years and we've gotten a number of channels added, but very few to the basic package. But yet the basic package costs have gone up way out of proportion to the number of additional channels added in that area.
I would like to, and I honestly mean this, in your monthly magazine that every subscriber receives, I would like to see a questionnaire for the next year. And I'd like that information, once it's answered and you receive it, I'd like it to be shared with this council what's really wanted by this community. We have 180 days before the federal government here now is going to get to work and try to come up with a plan and help re-regulate your industry because you've been running crazy for the last number of years. And now you're taking advantage of that and you're socking it to us before the federal government gets a chance to do what they got to do to the cable industry. And I see that just running rampant through the whole entire industry. And STORA is no different than all the other cable companies out there. They're trying to take advantage of the situation. They know that there's a deadline before them now, and they're all running for cover and running for their checkbook and looking to cover their wallet. And they're looking to get it through the subscribers.
To be quite honest with you, once again, this is the second time you're before me as I'm a councilman. 8.5% this year. It's just extremely disappointing that we constantly go through this. And you know, Councilman Clark made reference to the boo of the year. Again, not to be irreverent, but we can say boo of the decade because you have 110% worth of increases since 1984, and that is not a way to run a business.
Unfortunately, I stopped my premium service at the last increase. I jumped the gun. I should have done it this time to definitely send out a message. But I will make it very, very clear tonight and to the residents of East Brunswick that I will join Councilman Clark, and I believe Councilman Zanowski and Councilman Riccobono and Mr. Spawn and Mr. Hudak, that will say very, very clearly that until we have a rollback of the rates, we will not add premium channels to our arsenal of channels in town. The second thing is, those are premium channels. Also, I give a pledge to the residents of East Brunswick. Based on the recommendations made by the Cable TV Advisory Committee and one recommendation by Neil Rosen, a resident, I will not add any pay-per-view viewings throughout my house. If I want to see a movie, I'll run out to the local video store, an East Brunswick video store, and watch my favorite movie there. And I will make that commitment that I will never, again, never buy another pay-per-view on that channel until the rates are rolled back to 1992 rates. I hope the residents of East Brunswick join me in that. I hope they join Councilman Clark and the other councilmen that have also expressed the same thing. The only way to express our view to cable TV, obviously, is by action. And I hope all the residents tonight start, actually probably can do it tonight. Call up Star, whatever number you have, and stop their premium channels, and also not buy pay-per-view again.
That's all for now. Thanks for watching.